Do you feel you could be more productive as a software engineer? Or you feel you're missing the key ingredient to make you more productive? Then keep watching. So I had this idea around making a video around productivity, right? There are so many videos out there that tell you in order to focus, you've got to block out your calendar, you've got to write a bullet journal, and you've got to block out your notifications, just turn them off, right? And then I realized I can't actually tell you to do any of those things because I don't do them myself. Yep. The crazy thing is, you don't need to follow these crazy rules, or at least I feel you don't need to follow these crazy rules of waking up early, blocking your calendar, blocking your notifications, writing a bullet journal in order to be more productive. Let's take a second here and talk about productivity. What is the definition of productivity, right? What do you think it is? Pause this video and think about it. You ready? According to the Oxford Dictionary, productivity is the rate at which the worker, a company, or a country produces goods and the amount produced compared with how much time, work, and money is needed to produce them. That make any sense to you? It's quite traditional, right? It's quite a traditional way of looking at productivity. To give you an example, this is us looking at a factory and a factory worker, right? And the more productive the factory worker is, the more output they'll have, whether it's making biscuits or making tires, right? If a person is more productive in a factory environment, the output's going to be greater, which will yield more biscuits, tires, and in turn for the company, a higher profit. Now, how does that statement of productivity sit alongside software engineering? All right, I don't think it sits anywhere near it, right? I don't think we should take that definition of productivity and apply it to software engineering, because what that would mean, and what a lot of people think that means, is churning code out, right? People should just churn out code because that equals productivity. And there are so many reasons why that's wrong, right? First of all, unlike a factory where you're making multiple biscuits or multiple tires, you only ever have one product, right? You're not going to have more than one Airbnb, one Uber, or one Deliveroo, or whatever it is, right? There's only a single product. Now, of course, if you churn out more code, it will lead to more features. So you can have multiple, like hundreds of features. But then we know that more features don't necessarily equate to a better product or more profits, right? We all know that building or churning out more code and building more features doesn't equal success. And if we only pay attention to churning out code for features, then it actually has a detrimental effect because you build up technical debt, right? You don't look after your code base, and it means you actually become less productive as a whole team, which is not what we want. Now, you might be thinking, why are you talking about churning out code when you're talking about productivity, right? Well, the reason is there is this misconception that a lot of people have that productivity equals pumping code out, which is wrong in so many different ways, right? To give you an example, if you spend a whole day looking at a bug, trying to understand what the hell is causing this bug, and then you fix the bug with one line of code, would you say you have been unproductive for that whole day, even though you just wrote one line of code? Conversely, we could look at it from the other side, and you could start your morning by writing one line of code, which does a lot of work for you, and you get on with the rest of your day, feeling productive, move on to another piece of work, but then that one line of code that you changed comes back and bites you because it breaks a lot of things downstream, upstream, wherever. Do you think that's productive? I don't think so. what I'm trying to say is productivity does not equal how much code you output. It's easy to fall into that trap because we talk about it every day in our stand-ups as to what we got up to. And it's difficult to look past it, but really, we shouldn't be falling for that trap. So when we look at tools like bullet journals or blocking out your calendars or muting your notifications, all of these tools make you feel productive, right? They have this ability to make you feel like, I feel if I do these things, gonna feel productive. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are productive, right? The proof is always in the pudding. It's the output. Whether you've done the work, not necessarily, being productive by using certain tools, whether the end goal, the final line, has been achieved. And that's the most important thing, really. Now, I am the most easily distracted person ever. You can ask my current boss, you can ask my ex-boss at how easily I get distracted. Oh, hold on, there's something flying here. Super easy, right? But what I do know is when there's something that needs doing, when there's a piece of work or whenever there's a deadline or whatever it is, whenever there's work that needs doing, I somehow manage to compartmentalize those distractions to a certain extent and get the work done. Now, you could think that it's, this uncanny will that I have, the ability to just get it done. But I think it's a little bit more than that. I think it's the fact that I know that there's a job that needs doing, got to do it. All I'm trying to say is don't get into the feeling or pressured into thinking that you're unproductive, right? Or not being productive enough. And then try and use one of these million methods out there to try and make yourself more productive. I felt hopelessly unproductive in January. I felt like I wasn't doing much, but actually hindsight is a great thing. And it just turned out that it was a pandemic that made me feel like that. Don't ever feel like you have to be giving 100% every single day. It just doesn't happen, right? It's just not a possibility to give 100% of yourself every single day. Let's take an example. I love examples, as you already know, right? Let's look at some elite athletes, right? Let's look at Olympians. They train to be 100% fit at the Olympics. That's their peak, right? And when it's not the Olympic season, like it is this year, should have been last year, but when it's not the Olympic season, they're not at 100% fitness, right? There's peaks and troughs. And so when the time comes, when the 100 meters finals, Usain Bolt, 100-meter final, whoever it is there, they know they're ready to give every single ounce they have. Now, I'm not saying that your peaks and troughs should be 4 years long, right? You shouldn't be giving 100% every 4 years. Maybe shorten that a little bit, but it happens, right? It's natural to not be able to give 100% every single day, and you shouldn't feel bad for it. So there's my 2 cents about productivity, right? Give everything a go, but if it doesn't work for you, don't stick with it. Move on. And most importantly, don't put yourself under unrealistic expectations. Just don't do it. It's not good for you. It's not good for anybody. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure you have a lot of thoughts on my ways of productivity and distractions that are just in and around me. But if you have any comments, any thoughts, please leave them down below. And I'll see you in the next one.